In previous videos, you have seen how a Spring Boot project utilizes Maven, this tool, to manage all its dependencies. As a Spring Boot application developer, you specify dependencies in terms of coordinates in pom.xml. Then Maven will automatically go to Maven 2 central repository and download those dependencies, save them locally, so that your project can use those external dependencies. So you no longer need to worry about downloading hundreds of jars and their version management. Well, Maven can do more than that. Maven, or Apache Maven, is an open source tool that can be used for building and managing any Java-based project, not only in Spring Boot. As I said before, you can use it in CS1 and CS2 projects. But that's overkill, right? By using Maven in your Java application, it will make the day-to-day work of Java developers like you easier and generally help with the comprehension of any Java-based project. Because once you familiarize yourself with one Maven project, it'll be very easy to understand second, third, and all other Java-based projects that are using Maven. In other words, by using Maven, it provides a standard way to build Java projects. And there is a clear definition of what a Java project should consist of. It also makes it easy to publish your Java project information and a great way to share jars across several projects, because you know that all the jars, they are saved remotely on this Maven 2 central repository. So I highly recommend you guys use Maven in your Java project. Here is a list of Maven's objectives. I want to briefly talk about how Maven can automate a build process of your project. So what do I mean by build a project? And what is a build process? If you are using Maven in your project and you let Maven automate the build process, you should be familiar with a build lifecycle in Maven. In other words, what Maven will do for you when you start a build process. So when you start a build process in Maven, Maven will first validate the project is correct and all necessary information is available. Then it compiles the source code of the project. If you developed some test cases in the project, if you remember that for a Maven project, there is a folder called src test. Maven will test the compiled source code using a suitable unit testing framework, for example, JUnit. Then Maven will take the compiled code and package it in its distributable format, such as jar or var or war. Now, if you remember, when we create our Spring Boot project using IntelliJ, by default, the distributable format is jar, but we also can change it to var. Maven can also help install the packaged code on a remote server or publish to a remote repository, for example, Maven 2 central repository, or it can be a private repository of your company. We'll cover this when we deploy our Spring Boot application to Heroku. We're going to use Maven to help us deploy. I'm sure some students will have this question. It looks like a developer can do everything that Maven can do. That is, without using Maven, we still can live. That's right. Without Maven, developers have to do everything that I mentioned above manually when you have a new build. Okay, you have to repeat the same process over and over every time you have a new build. Now, this is time consuming and also error prone. So the advantage of using Maven or letting Maven automate the build process is that this will minimize the risk of humans making errors while building the software manually. Also, an automated build tool like Maven, of course there are other tools like Gradle or Ant, is typically faster and more efficient than a human performing the same steps manually. If you want to know more about Maven, I include several links below this video. So take a look at those links. Again, as a Java developer, I highly recommend you know how to use Maven and use Maven in your project. Whether it is a web project, a Spring Boot project, or a standalone project.